Not me. Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
Zach.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jordan. Good morning, Kenny. Good morning, Kim. How's everybody doing this beautiful Wednesday?
Great.
Real good.
Good. So Kenny's doing the best. Are you back in Maui now, Kenny?
I am.
Kenny, I don't know if you guys, if you don't follow Kenny on Instagram or Facebook, he was in Kauai for the last, I don't know, seems like forever.
It was only 5 days, but it did feel like a lifetime.
I mean, I'm watching his posts. Hey, Geraldine, I'm watching his posts. He's under a waterfall. He's hiking the mountains. It was so cool. So, tell us your journey to Kauai. Tell us a little bit about what motivated it and what you did over there, and what was your favorite thing to do.
So, what motivated it was honestly that they reopened inter-island travel. And I had never been to Kauai. My brother had never been either. So we were like, let's go. And then when I ever opened up Airbnb, it was like everything was on sale. So I was actually telling Kim and Jordan before you had hopped on, Tom, we got just like a killer deal on this Airbnb and rental car. And we were like, okay, let's do it. And then we headed over there, and it was just like, Maui is beautiful. But I was like jaw to the floor. You know, when you've lived somewhere, you can maybe start to get a little bit used to it.
Right.
It was like such the change of scenery that I was just like, at every turn, it was something new and spectacular. Our first stop was Wailua Falls, which was the waterfall that you were mentioning. And we went, there's a little hike down 15 minutes and you're at the base of it. And then you can actually keep hiking and go back behind the falls. And I was a little nervous because you always hear, don't go behind a waterfall or under a waterfall because rocks can come tumbling down. So at first I was keeping my distance, and then we ended up getting closer, and there's got to be like 30, 40 feet behind the actual waterfall. So you're not going in the water, and you're just getting sprayed with the mist. And all I kept saying was I had been to Niagara Falls, and you can go behind Niagara Falls, but you go through like a tunnel and you don't even realize it's happening. I was like, this is what I always wanted to do. But it was beautiful. We kind of fell in love with it. We went to Waimea Canyon, was another spot that just kind of blew our minds. And we stayed up in Princeville. And yeah, I was just like, whoa.
Very cool. And then did you go to we were talking when you were there about there's only one navigable river for power boats in all of Hawaii, and it's on Kauai. I can't remember the name of the river. What was it, Kenny?
So I'm not sure if is it the Wailua River?
Yes, it's the Wailua River.
So we weren't able to go there because all of the kayak rental places were closed over there. But there was a kayak rental open on the Hanalei River, which I think is smaller.
Yes, way smaller.
Yeah. So, but we went there, and that was a lot of fun. Although I am not a very strong kayaker, and we got two separate boats, and my brother was just like a half a mile ahead of me the whole time, and I won't even lie, I was like starting to throw a temper tantrum in the back. Wait for me.
Yeah. So the Wailua River, that's where they actually, when I went there several years ago, we took our daughters and we went. They went wakeboarding and I went water skiing on the river, which was so cool. So but Kauai is beautiful. There's no two ways about it. It's just when we looked to move here 20 years ago, we were looking at Kauai and we were looking at Maui, and what we realized is Kauai is gorgeous, but there's nothing to do there after 8:00 at night. And there's one road, and if you get stuck in traffic, you are stuck in traffic.
Yep.
But it's gorgeous. No two ways about it. I got some great friends over there. Annie Eliason's a realtor.
Yeah, I spoke with her actually, and she directed me on how to find that beach. And I think I went, but I'm not 100% sure because she was also not 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure I found it because it met most of the requirements that you mentioned, and I meant to send you a photo, but I forgot to.
Yep, there's this very hidden beach over in Kauai that we stumbled upon, my wife and I and my kids, and it's just the coolest spot. But we'll keep it secret. So
Yeah.
there we have it.
Shh. Yeah.
So, all right. So what else is happening, Jordan? What'd you do today? What'd you do today?
What did I do today? I woke up and got a call that we closed on a property. Very exciting for. It's actually one of my friends from high school. I went to Baldwin High School. If you guys know where Baldwin is, in Wailuku. And he was a grade younger. I think we did track together and stuff like that. But it was cool. He called me.
Wait. You ran track?
Yeah, man. I did basketball, track, volleyball. Yeah, man.
All right. Sorry, I cut you off there.
I used to be a good little athlete, man. Not anymore, but anyway. Yeah, so he called me up, and I guess he found me. He saw that I was, posting on Facebook and all this, and so it was really cool. He was like, "Hey, you're a realtor, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Yeah, me and my fiance. They're expecting a baby. They wanted to get a place of their own, so they closed on this awesome condo in Ho'olea Terrace, which is in Kealani. Beautiful area, and a really great condo for $400,000. They actually got a really good deal on it. So
cool.
He's super excited. I just texted him, and he was like, "Man, it's like a dream come true." So that's like one of the, I've had the best memories of selling homes to first home buyers. I mean, it's just really how excited they get. It's hard to beat that. So.
I agree. It is a great feeling because it's somebody who feels like, wow, they've accomplished something. Kim, you just bought your first house, right?
Yeah, it's an awesome feeling. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Big milestone.
It is a huge thing. And what's great is, I was just realizing that there's so many people who are renting that don't realize that they can buy. I just heard this on a podcast I was listening to early today. And, if you're out there and you're a renter, it's amazing today. What interest rates are where they're at. They're the lowest. Interest rates are the lowest they've ever been in history of the United States, recording that information from the 1960s or 1970s. And this is the third week in a row that they have been at the lowest point in history. So if you own a house, if you haven't looked at refinancing, you should. If you do look at refinancing, know that your lender is pulling their hair out right now. I just talked to my buddy at Wells Fargo, and he said he has just never been as busy. But be persistent, because the amount of savings that are there for you right now are huge. I know that I've been monitoring the rates, and there were some lenders that had under 3% interest rates, which is mind-boggling. When I think I bought my first house at 10.5%, and I thought I got a great deal on interest. So that shows my age, but still, there is so much opportunity. And then when the interest rates hit 5%, everybody said they'll never go lower than this. And now I saw one at 2.83% in the last 2 weeks. It's just crazy. But I had shared with you guys some math, super simple math that I wanted to share with everybody. On interest rates. If you buy a property at 3% interest rate versus 4% interest rate, let's say it's $500,000, which is a pretty fair number for our market here. The difference in payment, so a $500,000 mortgage, the payment would be $1,687. And can you rent anything for that in this market?
It's hard to find that.
How much was it?
$1,687.
Yeah,
I do pay less than that, but I'm also in a 1-bedroom, so it's probably apples and oranges.
Yeah, so that's the point is you're paying less, and that whatever let's say you're paying $1,500. You don't need to tell us, but let's say you're paying $1,500. That $1,500, when you send that money, it's gone.
Yeah.
When you send the $1,687 payment, you're reducing the amount of principal you owe and creating equity. So even if you're spending a little bit more money, you're still way ahead of the curve. And the interest that you pay, you get to write off of your personal income. So there's two benefits. That's why home ownership is so positive in our market. But the difference between a 3% mortgage and a 4% mortgage, $699 at $500,000. So it's $700. And everybody was clamoring to get 4% mortgages not too long ago. And then as the rates continue to, if they go back up, if they were 5%, they would be another $300 roughly. So just to give you an idea, a 3% $500,000 mortgage is $1,687. A 4% $500,000 mortgage is $2,327, and a 5% $500,000 mortgage is $2,684. So the value of interest rates is huge. And then if you say, oh, let's turn around. Sorry, I'm rambling, guys, but it's so, when I did the math, it was like, wow. If you were to buy a 3%, get a 3% mortgage compared to a 4% mortgage, over the course of the loan, you'll save over $100,000. And then if it was a 3% versus a 5%, you'll save over $200,000. The one caution that I would tell you is if you're going to refi, I would tell you to refi with how much time is left on your loan, so you don't extend your payments out to 30 years. So if you go to your lender and say, I want to refi and I've paid for 5 years on my loan, tell them you want a 25-year mortgage. They'll do whatever amortization you want. People don't realize that. And so that way you're not borrowing money for a longer amount of time. It just makes more sense to reduce your payment based on what your mortgage, how many years are left in your mortgage, and you'll do yourself a favor and get closer to the finish line of paying it off. So a lot of people don't realize that. So just some thoughts. Jordan, what's your interest rate right now?
On my place?
Yes.
3 point. I just refinanced.
Did you?
For
Perfect.
COVID, yeah. So I'm at 3.5 or so.
Which is still great.
From 5 something. So I mean, my payments up dramatically. And I think, the key in real estate here is the equity that you build. So it's been almost 2 years since I bought my place, but I bought a 1-bedroom for $269, right across Charlie Young's Beach. I mean, and right now, if I was to turn around and sell it, I could list it for, $315 to $330 at least. So just the amount of equity in just 2 years already, I'm sitting on some
right. And your tax write-off too, which you I don't know,
Yep.
We don't always appreciate the tax write-offs we get from the interest we pay, but that's basically just putting money back into your account because the federal government allows you to take that as a deduction, and it's a straight dollar for dollar deduction. So, which is fabulous.
Yeah, it was nice when I did my taxes this year. I was like, okay, this is way better than last year, So it actually kicked in, So I saw it firsthand.
So it's a beautiful thing. What else are we talking about, kids? Oh, we're still in mandatory quarantine if you come here from the mainland.
A little fancy writer.
Sorry, that was me.
What? What's this?
Oh, I was just putting
numbers on the screen.
info out there.
Thanks, Kenny.
More questions about the interest rates or just how the market's performing right now?
I'm sorry, Ken, I didn't hear what you just said.
Oh, I just said I was putting that up there if anybody has questions about the market to reach out to you guys. Yeah.
So
yes, mandatory quarantine.
Do we? I don't think last week we were talking about they may push it out. So they did push it out officially to September 1st. So I don't know if you guys saw that.
Well, here's what sort of irritates me. I'm going to go on my little soapbox here. They said till at least, and those two words, at least, scare the crap out of me. Because they're really hedging, they meaning our governor and the mayors. And it's just a little bit frustrating. It's like, hey guys, if you're listening, if the mayor or the governor are listening to us right now,
they watch it every week. Yeah, they are.
I know they do. I know they go under a pseudonym so that they don't have to be, called out. But if you guys are listening, come on, man, get your heads out of your butt, make a plan. This is not fair to all of our business owners that you're, pulling the rug out from everybody and then not having a clue. We're paying you to be leaders. Be leaders. All right, I'm done.
I agree. And that's why we said last time, it was like they hadn't made the official announcement yet, but that's why we're saying as you're booking your plans to come out here, I mean, just keep, because things are changing week to week. I mean, unfortunately, that's what we're dealing with. So, I mean, it's really kind of a moving target right now, which is frustrating to Tom's point. But yeah, I mean, they got to get the testing in order. They got to get, the process and get it streamlined. And they're just not doing it. and it is frustrating for everybody.
But Alaska's doing it. Why is, they've been doing this since June 6th. So come on. It's like, I don't know. I'm just frustrated that we need to get some process in place. And I'm not trying to say that we should just, open it all up and let everybody show up here and being sick. That's not my point. But my point is this is devastating for
people are suffering.
How many restaurants have closed? How many people are out of work? And that's just frustrating. I just think that our governor is not being proactive. It's not like he didn't have 4 months to figure this crap out. Just let's make a plan. All of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, we need to do something now. Yeah. Seriously? I don't know.
The scary part too is the unemployment rate, and so many people are collecting unemployment. And the really scary thing is that the hazard $600 per month extra pay that people were getting is running out, I think, on the 25th, so in 3 days or whatever, and it's bumping down to, I think they agreed to, there's like $100 extra or something, but on top of the max you can get. But that's $500 less than people were getting and surviving off of. And so even more so, the people that work in the tourism industry are just, man, they're really, scraping. So it's really, when you see stuff like that, it's like, man, it's really affecting people for sure.
Yeah, I agree. But we'll get through this. It's not the end of the world. And that, what I realized too is that I did some stats. I'm going to sort of transition a little bit to what's happening. So many of our condos that are vacation rentals are vacant and empty. And statistically speaking, our residential real estate market has been really, really strong. I mean, I just listed a property yesterday, 2 days ago, and I've got 4 showings this morning. I mean, but it's a residential Ohana property over on Ilawai Loop. But conversely, the resort or Airbnb style vacation rentable market has been pretty tepid. I mean, I think there's opportunity in there if you're looking to buy. I did the stats a couple days ago in South Maui. And if this is confusing, let me know. Of the current pending sales, 30% of them are vacation rentable properties. But of the current active properties, I think it was 43% of them are vacation rental properties, which means we've got a lot more inventory in the vacation rental property and a lot less sales. So what that tells me is that if you're out there and you're thinking about being a buyer and you've been contemplating buying a vacation rental, our market could, there's probably some sellers out there that would say, hey, pick me. I have one of them that has said, hey, I'm, during the midst of this COVID, I'm a bit more motivated. I don't want to lower my price, but I'm a bit more motivated right now. If somebody were to come in with a reasonably unreasonable offer, I'd be more of a seller. When they open up the gates and allow people to start coming back and my cash flow starts coming back, I'm probably going to be less flexible. So something to keep in mind as you're out there. If you're in a position where you want to be a buyer, and when you look at that information and you combine it with the we've really tied this together today, well, guys. When you compare that with the interest rates and that you can buy, the cost of money is cheaper than ever. And even if you said, hey, I can pay cash, which I've got some clients that I can pay cash, but if I can get a loan at 3%, I'm making more money in my investment account because the stock market's going crazy. Leave it there and go get a loan. So there are all kinds of ways to manage all of that. So I just want, just keep that in mind. So, and I know I've been getting calls from people in the last 2 to 3 weeks saying, hey, it's now a good time to buy a resort vacation rental property. It's like, sure, it is if you can withstand some down months at the beginning of it. But, we all know the market's going to come back. This is not the end of the world. Everything is going to, the sun's still shining. It's still 82 degrees here, and it's still beautiful. Maybe not as beautiful as Kauai, Kenny, but anyway, so I'm off my soapbox again. I was on it there for a while. Jordan, any thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, I just had a conversation with a client this morning before this. Always good. Yes, it is. Always a good time to be property. Yeah. So, I mean, we were talking through everything and he wanted just the overall market view. And I told him what we were talking about just now. I mean, there's so much inventory that we haven't seen this much vacation rentable inventory under $500,000, $600,000, in a market in 3 years, 4 years. There hasn't been 50 units available. So, I mean, and like Tom was saying, there's probably some sellers in there that are like, hey, we would really like to sell this, So there's opportunities, I think, to be had for people that are willing to take a little bit of risk and upfront. And yeah, I mean, it's like Tom said, I mean, the weather's nice and everything will return to normal, hopefully, in the near future. They'll have to open it up to tourism, like we were saying earlier, eventually. So, yeah, I mean, there's opportunity if people are willing to take a little bit of risk.
And, and as I've shared with you guys before, I'm part of a huge group of real estate agents that work in resort markets all around the country, actually all around the world. And if they're in a mainland market where you can actually get to, the markets in secondary resort market home locations are absolutely blowing up. Ed, who's just chimed in about it's always a good time to sell a beach property. He handles a lot of resort properties, and the markets in the ski mountain areas, like Breckenridge. I was talking to a friend, said on fire, multiple offers. The coastal cities, Arizona, every place is crazy. But since people can't get here, we're not experiencing that yet. And I really think that when they allow travel back into the islands, our resort, that Airbnb market is going to explode. And what I guess I'm saying is, if you're thinking you want to do that, jump in now, because you've got the best choice of inventory that you've ever had. And you'll be a little bit ahead of that big curve. Dawn Van Dyke just said, she's a realtor in Southeast Florida. Exploding in Southeast Florida, no inventory. I mean, that's what's happening. So if you've been saying, hey, I want to buy resort real estate, and you've been waiting, get on the phone with Jordan, get on the phone with myself. Let us know what you're looking for. We will do a video walkthrough. I just did this for somebody. We walked all around the property, walked them to the beach, walked them through the units, showed them the views. And I'm pretty candid. I tell people what sucks about a property and what's great about it, because I want everybody to know, if we're buying sight unseen, that you're knowing everything that I know. And we've got so much experience in the resort property markets that we're going to know the crappy locations. We're going to know why they stink. You're close to the garbage can, all those kind of things that you just don't see on Zillow. So anyway, that's my whole thing.
Yep. So, anything else, Kim? What's going on with you? How's life?
How's Piper?
She's great. She's great. I think she's teething a little bit right now, so that's been a little fun to deal with. A little extra fussy these days, but I guess it's all payback, because I know I was a bit of a trouble kid, so I'm all back, karma. But yeah, not much. Kenny's really inspired me. I was briefly looking at flights. I'm ready to go to Kauai. It's been on my list for a long time, and that was just everything he said. I want to go, so might make a trip over there one of these weekends before things open up and get a little crazy.
Yeah, my wife and I were talking about going to Hana, and with our kids, our daughters who are here, we were just thinking about taking a cruise, but maybe we should go to Kauai.
Yeah,
anyway,
seems like a no-brainer right now, I think.
I agree. Well, cool. All right, guys, I think we are good. Anything else you'd like to mention or talk about? We can do that, or we can just say, hey, aloha, everybody. See you next Wednesday. Oh, and I want to apologize for my friends that watch me on Sunday afternoons. I haven't been there the last 2 Sundays talking about stats and all that. I was actually hanging out with my family, and by the time I got to thinking, oh, crud, I should be doing this, it was already like 5 or 6 o'clock, and I just said, most of my friends in the mainland are snoozing, so we
family time is important, Tom.
I know, that's absolutely right. Hey, and Dawn Van Dyke, who just said Kauai is my next trip. Be sure to extend that trip and come over here to Maui and see us. And when you go to Kauai, be sure to reach out to Annie Ellison, who is part of our Tom Ferry network. She'll take good care of you. So, yeah. All right,
guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day.
Remember, call us if you have